Cool.
Jason, welcome.
Thank you.
We're really glad you're here.
Thank you so much.
You've traveled the farthest that any guest has in one day to come on the show.
Nice.
And that's all the way from California, right, this morning?
Yep.
You
Left
flew
this
straight
morning.
here to Nashville?
Yeah, bright and early.
So tell us who you are and why you're here. Why are you in Nashville?
Great. So my name's Jason Schneidman, and I've been on Instagram as the men's groomer for 10 years plus. And 19 years ago, I was hooked on drugs and alcohol, and I was living on the streets. And, crack cocaine was my drug of choice at the end. That brought me to my knees. I had nothing at 34 years old. I thought life had passed me up. I really wanted to have a family, and I was like, wow, this is not working. And I reached out to somebody for help. I'm a hairstylist, and I've been doing hair since I was 14, and I was just, using my scissors to get a dime bag or a pack of cigarettes when I was young, just whatever it was. And then who would have thought that I'd go on to, do so many people in Hollywood, and
Right.
it's just crazy because I got sober, and that's where I was taught how to suit up and show up,
Right.
and be of service.
Right. Show up early, stay late. Yep.
Yeah,
The whole
and be a
gamut.
yes guy, and that's all led me to be here at Cumberland Heights with you, doing an event tomorrow in Nashville for people that are living on the streets, that are suffering from drugs and alcohol and just whatever it is. And I'm out there and I'm lending a hand, and we pulled together, a number of different organizations came to lend a hand. I got Nashville Street Barbers, 333 Limitless, and this Ryan Aviation Group. So 333 Limitless and Ryan Aviation Group, they're also in recovery. And they saw my Instagram, and they said, we want to donate to your foundation. That's something also I've developed in sobriety in the last 19 years. We have a foundation. It's called the SRVC Foundation, Service Without the Vowels.
Right.
So these guys were watching these videos I do. I put these videos up, about 10 years ago. I had an idea that I could go out on the streets with a backpack and do haircuts and 12-step somebody.
Right.
And do what I love, So it's like, and the other thing is these guys on the street, they never stop and really get deep and talk. But as soon as I get them in the chair doing a haircut, it's like that haircut experience where you're like bro down
Yep.
with your barber, your hairstylist.
right.
And we are therapists, and so all these people, so these guys over at Ryan Limitless, 333 Limitless and Ryan Aviation Group, I met Yvonne over here, who's here today, and I did this.
Shout out, Yvonne.
So, okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
So when you went out to the street for the first time to
Yes.
cut hair,
Yes.
what was that about?
So I woke up one morning with a burning desire going, cordless clippers had just got good enough.
Okay.
And
Right.
I was like, I woke up with the desire to go to the beauty supply store, buy a cordless pair of clippers. And I called a friend. I was like, dude, I got a gnarly idea. We're going to go into a homeless encampment, and I need somebody to film this. And it was just like God was driving me, dude. It was the craziest thing. Like I just was driving like I.
So you're 9 or 10 years in recovery at this point.
I was, yeah. And it was
Okay.
literally like, that obsession to go drink and use where you're driving and you're headed to somewhere and you're like, I'm not going to drink. And then all of a sudden you're turning the car and you're driving
Yeah.
to go to the liquor store.
Yep.
That was the same burning desire with going to cut somebody's hair on the street and help
Right.
somebody. It was really radical. And I knew I was tapping into something magical. And in this last 10 years, it's just exploded. There's people see my videos all over the world, and they're like,
Truly.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane. And people tell me I got sober because of you. Like, you're the reason. You inspire me. And, we've lost people to drugs and alcohol. Thank you for what you're doing. Don't stop. So every day now I'm like, this is my purpose. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? I got enough. I provide for my family and I have enough. So now it's like, what can I do? And I'm 53 years old. So it's like, this is the second part of my life. Like, it's about what I can leave behind. So,
So how many haircuts do you give a year to people who are homeless on the street?
Well, tomorrow there's going to be 200 haircuts.
Yeah, I noticed that.
There's going to be probably about 25 of us. So we'll all bust out a couple. But I've been at events where we've knocked out, I've done, 20 haircuts in a day.
Yeah.
And I'm the last guy standing. Everybody leaves. And I'm like, this is amazing. Let's keep going,
Yeah.
So I got a lot of energy.
So this event that's happening tomorrow in Nashville, you've gotten a lot of people to participate, Cumberland Heights included, which is great. We're happy to collaborate. I think we're giving a scholarship away, which we're excited about. So for one person that'll be there, we're going to give them a courtesy scholarship to come to Cumberland Heights, get treatment, get well. And then we've partnered with a local sober living organization, a Design for Living, if I'm correct, to support them post treatment intervention, which we're happy to do. But this came about pretty quickly, as you mentioned. So these guys saw your Instagram, literally reached out to you, said, "Look, we'll get you out here. Let's get this going." When did y'all start working on this?
So they hit me up about 2 months ago.
Okay.
And then it's all because of social media, the power of social media.
Yeah.
And this is great because, there's a lot of bad that there's a bad stigma about social media. There's a lot of good stigma.
Yeah.
Everything about this event has spawned from social media. So the guys at 333 Limitless donated because they saw my Instagram. I met Yvonne, who's at Renata Event Planning. She's an event coordinator. She helped me plan this event. She reached out to everyone. You know what I mean? The Old Dominion music video, Some People Do. If you haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube. All you got to do is search Some People Do. And the lead singer, he hit me up. He was on his tour bus and he said, I watched your Instagram and I got this song. I think it lines up perfect. Would you be willing to do it? And I said, absolutely. The street barbers, the Nashville street barbers, really excited to work with you. They've been seeing my stuff. I'm going to go down the list real quick because I don't want to leave anybody out.
Please do.
So, Citizens of Humanity, it's like high-end jeans, like $400 jean company.
Yeah.
They sent us 200 pairs of jeans for people on the street.
Yeah.
We got Nashville Street Barbers, 333 Limitless, One Generation Away, Citizens of Humanity, Patchwork Nashville, Cumberland Heights, Renata Events and Designs, Hope on a Row, Ryan Aviation Group, Shower Up, The Laundry Stop, and Zeal Church. So we're doing showers. We're doing laundry. We're going to have a prayer circle. We're going to have, you guys offered treatment for somebody, which is huge.
Yeah.
Because
excited to do it.
A lot of people don't have resources.
Not even,
And literally it gives me the chills to know that somebody might be where I was.
Yeah.
And this life that I've been given, is beyond my wildest dreams. And to think that it just trickles down. They can have a family. One person. It's just about one person.
Yeah. You can only keep what you have by giving it away, right? If you hear that in certain circles and certain meetings and certain church basements, around the world. So I want you to talk more about what it's like to cut somebody's hair when they're in a shelter, when they're on the street. What do you guys talk about? How do you think you help them? What comes up for them that might be unexpected?
Yeah. So it starts off and you meet this very scary person that's very hairy, that is not so clean usually, and it's intimidating. And as the haircut kind of unfolds, you start seeing a cleaner person and they're a little less of a wall put up. So a lot of the times I'll meet a guy and he'll be like, what? You want to know my name? And then all of a sudden he'll tell me his name halfway through the haircut. And they just become human. And, I get into their stories and I start asking about their families. And, and a lot of these guys on the street are hiding from themselves, hiding from life. And I show them the mirror and they look at themselves and they're like, wow. And also people around them perceive them differently.
Right.
We did an event in Venice, and this woman sent me an email a year later, and she was living in a tent, pregnant. And a woman that came out from my Instagram to do haircuts, a hairstylist, gave her a haircut. She sat her down in the chair, put the cape on her and said, what's it going to be? And that was the turning point to bring this woman back. She remembered being in the salon and being a human. And it was that moment of what's it going to be was the turning point. She sent me an email. She had the baby. They had got their house. They were living in New Mexico. And we went out and followed up with her. And so
sometimes that's all it takes, right? Yeah. Somebody just to help another person love themselves, right? You're loving them in a way by giving them a haircut until they can love themselves. Exactly. And it's a little bit of an analogy for the recovery process, right? Yeah. You have our walls, we have our masks, we are actively participating in degradation, right? We've completely abandoned ourselves. And so I think it's a beautiful thing just to give somebody a glimpse in that mirror in one moment.
Yeah.
That might change their life.
You never know
absolutely.
What a simple handshake. You know? It's the simplest things that trigger people to want to change.
So talk about your foundation. When did that come about?
So the foundation we started, and it was called the Men's Groomer Foundation, but we realized we were helping a lot more than men. So we switched it up to SRVC Foundation. And, that started probably about 4 years ago. And, we're a 501c3 and people donate money and we get to use it, to help people get off the streets and drugs and alcohol. It's
so you're strictly funding treatment, patient assistance to get these individuals into treatment all across the country, whatever they need.
A place to stay, if it's closed, it's these events. We bought 75 lice kits for people that we just have it.
How can you give to SRVC?
So you just go to srv.co. And it'll all pop up right there and whatever, we'll take whatever. But also we have this product line that we've been doing. Yeah. So I got Days of Dirt here, which has been the hero product. It's, an amazing product. And then the paste has been around for a while. But what's cool about our products is, my mentor, Paul Mitchell, I've seen how they grew this company and they're the number one biggest philanthropy in the hair industry. They
I didn't know that.
So many, they raise millions and millions of dollars every year. But our formula is part of the proceeds goes to places like Cumberland Heights. And we donate money from the product sales, and we just have more scholarships to offer people that I meet on the street when I do these haircuts.
Yeah.
And we literally take them right there. If a guy's sick and tired, and what's cool is I know by looking at a dude or a girl that they seem done.
Yeah,
you never really know if you're done, but I've been there. I know what it looks like, and even if they don't stop that day, we planted the seed.
And where do you get these products?
So you can go to californiaborn.com. The company's name used to be the Men's Groomer, but we realized we were selling products to everybody, so we changed it to californiaborn.com.
Yeah.
And they're sold on Amazon too.
So given your experience cutting a lot of famous people's hair, right, which you've done your whole career, really built a career outside of what you've done, in terms of serving people right off the street. But give us a sense, being somebody in long-term recovery, probably brushing shoulders with some folks who might identify that way. How's that experience been, and how have you carried your message, with a different demographic, if you will, of somebody who might be?
So it's been incredible. All right. One, I was taught how to be a man, right?
Yeah.
So I suit up and I show up. I'm on time. I'm early. Whatever it may be, I open doors for people and I ask people how they're doing. That doesn't come natural for an addict, Right. So it's contrary action. It's every day thinking about these things. But my actions have been attractive to a lot of celebrities and actors who I've actually been their Eskimo. So I've been helping a lot of actors get into recovery. And also there's some guys in recovery that I work with who are out there helping people. Rob Lowe, for example, he's got 30 plus.
Yep.
There's a lot of them, a lot of people that are in recovery that I've met along the way, and they've taught me and I've passed it on. So it's really beautiful.
So what would you tell somebody that's struggling with addiction today, right? What would you tell them to do?
So first, it's okay to be a quitter, okay? Because I remember I'm not a quitter, right? It's not about quitting. It's about surrendering, and surrendering means going over to the winning side. And it's not giving up. You know what I mean? It's becoming braver. And so you really just have to admit and accept, that's like the most important thing. It's the only thing you have to do perfect is admit and accept that you are powerless, that your life's unmanageable. And that's when the journey begins. So I don't care how tough you are, to be weak is to be strong.
Yeah.
And ask for help.
Ask for help.
Ask for help and ask the loved ones. And then if you don't have the resources, just keep chipping away. You can direct message me at the Men's Groomer on Instagram. And
there's so much hope. There's so much hope when somebody sees you and sees your external rapper, sees me. I'm a person in recovery, 13 years, other people in this room I know are in personal recovery. And there's so much hope just to know that, people that are struggling with addiction come in all shapes and sizes. And if you hear something, right, that gives you a little bit of that hope, you can change too, In my first meeting, I knew just two things, that everyone was exactly like me, but they had somehow seemingly managed to change. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it was powerful.
Yeah.
It sounds like it wouldn't be. In fact, I walked into the meeting, sat in the back row, had a blanket on. Right. It was the middle of the summer in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I thought I had everything figured out. But by the end of the meeting, I was home in a way that I hadn't experienced before, ever. So, Jason, tell us a little bit more. What's Jason struggling with these days, right? Where are you going next?
So, I don't know if I really struggle because I don't have problems. I only have his solutions. And I can't sit in that uncomfortability. That's what I used to drink and use over, So I need to get out of that struggle fast. I am not a saint by any means. I'm always taking a look at how I'm talking to people, and my delivery isn't great, always,
sure,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And like people ask me, they're like, who's the biggest dick actor or who's terrible to work with? I'm like, any one of us. Right. And I'm not an actor, but anyone at any given moment can be overwhelmed, overworked, stressed out, hungry, lonely, tired, Right. So I got a family now. I got 3 kids. I got a brand new baby. She's 11 months. I got a 9-year-old.
All right.
Boy who's all-star baseball player. It's so fun. I'm having more fun at those baseball games than he is,
Right, of course.
My daughter's 11 and, I got all these amazing things because of recovery and I had nothing, literally. And it's just awesome. Like struggling. Okay. To answer your question, what I'm struggling from is my head for moments. When I wake up in the morning, my head is a very loud place.
Yeah.
You're not going to be good enough. You don't look good enough. You're not going to make it today. And literally, I do not listen to it. I get up, I get in the shower, the hot water hits me. All of a sudden, I'm like, I feel a little better. Go make my coffee, sit outside, look at just the simplicity of the sky and the birds and the feeling of the sun. Like these are the things that drive me. And it's basically gratitude. And I'll drive to work. I'm just grateful because I'm not a prisoner of what I was doing back in the day.
Yeah.
That it's so much work to hide it, to be hungover, to stay high, to steal, to all the stuff that I was doing.
Yeah.
Like I am so grateful to be free.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying the struggle doesn't go away. News. Yeah.
Yeah. It's contrary action and it's action. It's action. And,
there you go.
That's it. And being of service and doing these events allows me to love myself and not have to drink and use.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for being here. I hope that we can keep this going. I hope we can do a Nashville event next year,
Absolutely.
And build a coalition of this community. As you'll see tomorrow, there's a lot of people that are affected by addiction that are living on the street, man. We need to be supporting them as best we can.
Yvonne from Renata Event Design, I got it.
Nice.
She and I are working together on this, and this is the concert tee I designed because we're taking this show on the road. We're going to Dallas, we're going to Montauk, we're going to Hawaii, and we just keep going. We just leave the footprint wherever we go. And you guys, there's already people at this old tent city. These guys on the list all know the area, and they were happy. They were nice enough to let us come into their area. Yeah. So this is great. But we're gonna keep doing this, and that's it. We're just super, super stoked.
Yeah. Well, you guys have fun at Billy Joel tonight.
Hell yeah.
Get some Martin's barbecue.
Stevie Nicks. We're going to Martin's right now. It's all about music and food.
Celebrate. Tomorrow we'll celebrate recovery.
Service. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.